In the last couple of months, the universe has been sending me opportunities and people and certain events that have somehow just allowed life mapping to unfold. So conversations in which it comes up, parties at which people want to know about it. And the more I do it, the more it makes me realize the actual value of this tool. Now, I've always known this. I've been doing life maps since 2003. And in fact, I studied with the founder and discoverer of the human pin code, Douglas Forbes. And life maps are based, they're essentially a fusion of Jinshin Jitsu and the human pin code. And at first I just did it as a hobby, right? Because it was like, it was numbers, and I love numbers and they fascinate me, and it was interesting. And it was a way for me to actually provide some sort of structure for myself, certainly in understanding myself and in understanding other people. And so then, I did the necessary stuff that needed to be done in order to become a practitioner, and I did it sort of occasionally for my patients. And I've done it throughout the years, but I basically only started doing it sort of professionally, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. And then I've had spates where I do a lot of it, and then I teach a workshop about it, and then I don't do it again, and then I think, oh, I must really revive this. Okay, so the long and the short of it is, this is most surely, I think, the time for not just reviving it, but actually taking life maps into the world in a big way, because it is an amazing tool. It has never failed me, okay? And it is so accurate, and in of itself, it's so accurate without it having to be subjective in any way. So yes, it is affected by whoever's doing the interpretation. But you know, what I love about it is a mixture of numbers, and numbers are concrete. They're energetic in terms of the fact that they have meaning and they have energy, but they're concrete. A 1 is a 1 is a 1. And a 1 is going to have certain ways of showing up in the world, basically. And there are going to be certain traits associated with the 1. And there are going to be certain positive traits, there are going to be certain negative traits. And it's repeatable. So, you know, if you've got 10 people who have 1s in their life maps, you can be sure that they are going to have similar characteristics. So there's at least going to be a similar thread. So that's the one part I like about it, that it's very predictable and that it's structured. The other thing that I do like about it is that it doesn't put you in a box. You don't only get one number. So you get a spread of 8 numbers. So as I just said, if I use that example of 1s, you may have 1 in your life map, somewhere in your life map, or you may have more than 1 in your life map. More than 1 in your life map, and there may be another person who also has 1s in their life map in different places to you and modified by other numbers. And even though there are some similar characteristics, you still get a complete idea of the uniqueness of each person. So who needs another personality analysis system? So what is it? Okay, well, it's a way of analyzing your personality. And who needs another personality analysis system? Because there are lots of them out there, right? We've got Myers-Briggs, we've got the Enneagram, there are a number of them that I don't even know about. And I'm not saying that life maps are better than any of those, but the ones that I have experience in tend to be quite subjective. And that's another thing that I love about life mapping. It's very objective. It's a date of birth. It's a calculation. It's the same calculation for everyone. You end up with a spread of 8 numbers. Each number is a different aspect or persona of your personality. And when we put them all together, we paint a picture. So it's a bit like if you think that each one of those positions and each one of the numbers is a color and a position on a canvas. So yes, you may have a 3 and I may have a 3, which I don't incidentally have, and someone else may have 3 3s, but and that may be the color red, but the position in which it is in and the other colors that we're putting around it is going to allow us all to have a completely unique and different painting. And so that's the one thing that I think that Life Maps offers that is extremely valuable. What else? As I said, numbers are predictable, okay? The equation is predictable. It's repeatable. You can do it over and over and over on a number of people. And so if you want to get to know yourself better, it's a great tool. Now, you might also say, yeah, well, you know, Loretta, I've heard all this before and I know myself. Well, a teacher of mine, Dr. John DeMartini, said, the mind always lies, the body never does. That's why God put the clues in the body. And so your mind and your subconscious in particularly is running a lot of the automatic, or in fact all the automatic functions in your body. And our minds are always trying to keep us safe, basically. They're trying to maintain the status quo, particularly your subconscious. And so, but your body is where you experience your emotions. It's your senses where you experience the world, and it's your motor function which allows you to take action. So your habits and your ways of being and your ways of behavior, that's of the body, all right? So your mind might say, I am never cruel, but your actions may speak differently, because nobody's only ever kind, okay? So the knowing yourself sometimes is also not entirely true. And I mean, any of us who've done any personal development work, you know how you keep on discovering new parts of yourself, and or parts or old parts that you've been suppressing, or you have like insights into why you do what you do. So your life map is like your behavioral DNA. It gives you a template, it gives you a place to start to really understand why you do the things you do, why you have the habits you have, why you respond the way you respond in certain situations, why you have the strengths you have, why you have the weaknesses you have, and why you often have the tension within yourself, because you're trying to actually only be one-sided. And so it is, when we say we know ourselves, I would have to question that, all right? So I think that whatever we can do to actually deepen our understanding of who we really are and how we behave and why we behave in that way, the more we can integrate all our parts and the more authentic we become. Authenticity is a big word. What does it really mean? It means being really you, you know, and what is that? Well, you know, being really you is not just the part that allows you to fit in. It's not just the part that makes you popular. It's not just the part that is your strength. It's not just the parts that make you that great leader that everyone looks up to. It's all the parts of you. And we are conditioned to not like the parts that we think are not great. So you are automatically going to try and hide that. You're going to try and cover that up. You're going to potentially deny that you are a certain way. And what your life map does is it helps you to get closer to the truth of who you really are. And that, in my opinion, is absolutely invaluable. So this is the first of my video series. Please, if you enjoyed this video, I would urge you to share it with your friends. I'm trying to get this work out there into the world. I'd love to hear your comments or questions, and there will be a number of these following on, which will give you more and more information as we go along.